times, let me tell you something, a lot of times behind the scenes can carry an episode.
Yeah, that behind the scenes was pretty good, right, Jeff?
Which one is this for?
It was Christian Pulisic. It's coming out today.
You guys on the boat.
And
today
being Wednesday, the pod will probably be out on Friday, but it's a good one. We held it for a long time because we had so much stuff going on. But happy
That's
to
the one
have
of me
to get
trying
it
to freaking do the water skating or whatever the
water
skiing.
They kept calling it waterboarding, and Bob's like, "We're doing the waterboarding."
I felt like I was drowning myself, like some kind of Chinese water torture. It was horrible, man.
Yeah, but the good thing is everyone looked stupid. It wasn't just you, and everyone else did well.
I'll tell you,
I never felt fat or pop when I was sitting on that thing, and they're like, "Pull yourself up." You know, it's a lot of weight to pull when you can't even fathom like lifting yourself up out of the waist.
It's hard. I mean, Christian made it look so easy, but that's hard.
Turns and flips. I mean, insanity.
Yeah, weren't you just looking at him when he was up on that water, just like, man, this guy's got it all. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's just got it all. And some people could pull off tattoos, some can't. Christian Pulisic can pull
out of our crew,
tattoos.
like if you lined us up, who's pulling off like full sleeve tattoos the best out of all five of us?
It'd be Pop for sure.
You think Pop?
Yeah,
I don't know.
or you.
I think
you don't think Perez could pull off some tats?
No.
No, I could see Pop having some tats and some
just
hidden
a
places.
big old neck tattoo.
You know what would be cool that I do kind of want to do, but there's no going back, is have you ever seen on like a sleeve, but it's just all black?
Yeah.
The tattoo is just black.
The Machine Gun Kelly?
I kind of like that. I think that would be cool, but what am I going to get? Like
I came really close years ago to like getting a full sleeve.
Really?
I thought about it really hard. Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it.
By the way, that's a lot of time in that chair.
I don't know if I could handle the needle, to be completely honest. I heard it hurts like a bitch.
How much does it cost? Like, what does a tattoo go for?
You got to think like something like if you did like I wouldn't have done a full sleeve. I probably would have done like up here like a half sleeve or something. I think it's like thousands of dollars. Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
$2,000-3,000. It also depends who you go to, because like anybody and their mother now can pick up a needle and say they do tattoos. But like, I think if you're gonna invest your time into doing something like that, that's one of those situations where you don't opt for the cheap option. You just pay extra because it's going to be on your body.
Yeah. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bob Joe Sports Podcast. In case you couldn't tell, Fat Perez flying from West Palm Beach. Him and Joseph just did the TNT. Something for TNT. Why don't you tell them a little bit about?
Yeah. So FP is going to be leaving today. We were just couple of days with some pretty cool cats out in West Palm here. We were with the Mark Wahlberg charity for Youth Foundation charity. And it was a whole thing, like 2-day thing. Pretty freaking cool, man. We're talking like some guys like Charles Barkley and Wayne Gretzky. And last night we had the gala. I was sitting next to Megatron. You want to talk about an absolute legend? Man, this guy was unreal. So really cool. Awesome experience. And then FP and I got to do something after the tournament, which I can't, full disclosure, I can't really announce too much, but really cool shit that'll be coming out in the next few months with some filming and some celebrities. Pretty fucking cool. Pinch me moments. Definite pinch me moments.
Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for that coming soon. Head on the swivel there for that. The ROM month coming up in a couple weeks, that is, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then something that we haven't talked about, teased it a little bit before, Chicago with the Barstool guys. Very excited for that to come. That was a fucking blast.
Yo, that place, Barstool Chicago, is the coolest place of all time. We went in Saturday night, and I guess they came in we were just watching games. We weren't even streaming. That I could live and die there. That place.
Yams made himself very comfortable. In between losing wagers, he was shooting buckets on the hardwood behind the screening room.
It was pretty wild walking. I mean, we've watched him for forever, so it was pretty wild just walking into that office, and then being on the stream was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think they realized, like, we've all, I mean, Jet, you mean you for sure. Even Tech, you've had it. We've been stoolies for a while, like a long time. I've watched Barstool's content for the longest time. So even some of the characters that was there, I tried to not show how hyped I was to see some of the characters. Like by the way, somebody that really flew under the radar, Wonton Don being there, and like,
He's back there.
oh man, Wonton Don's goated. He's like one of the first guys in Barstool. I mean, he was right in it right out of the gate. But he like
I
traveled.
really hit it off with that Mincy. He's hysterical.
Mincy,
Yeah.
We both got to vent about a terrible loss with that
Mincy had-
Bengals
yeah,
game.
that was-
He had
I
the
really-
video of the year. He had the video of the year last year. There was no better video
of the decade, dude.
with the
What was-
styrofoam around the little bobblehead.
That's one of the greatest videos I've ever
He,
seen.
in the middle of the stream, he was just like, celebrating. They're like, "What do you have?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I took Jamar
Plus
Chase as many yards as he
3,000.
can, Burrow as many yards as he can, and Bengals." He's like, "It's 30-1. We're about to win it." And then he ended up losing, and he didn't give a shit when he lost. He was just like, "Oh fuck," and he like walked out.
He threw his phone on the ground.
Oh, did he really?
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see him like he didn't. He
I-
was so nonchalant about the fact that
No,
30-1.
It came down to he hit everything. He had like Jamar Chase as I think like 100 plus yards or 150
Many
yards.
yards, yeah.
Joe Burrow like over 300 yards, and then he had something else, and then the
Bengals.
Bengals money line.
Yeah.
And the fucking place kicker couldn't hold the ball down, and when it lost, he went off. He took his phone and he slammed it, and he scurried out into that other room where all the food was, and you could just hear him for like 10 minutes just venting.
You know, the other thing, we talk about how much we eat and the food we get. Yo,
Wow,
the
man.
spread. I'm not even saying this in a bad way. The spreads they had 2 days in a row.
The second day was even
Bob, I'll let
better.
you. This is you right here. That was insane.
No, you're right. I don't think there's anybody that orders like when we really go for it on like a Sunday where you just order just a ton of food. Like by the end of it, we feel so shitty. That was like times 2. I felt by the time that Sunday was over, I felt like because nobody announces that they're ordering the food. You just walk out and the food's just there. Like there's nobody that makes the address and say, "Hey, I'm ordering this." You just Portillo's was there. Everything was there. I was drinking a milkshake. Like you just feel like such a piece of shit by the time the day's over.
Crazy. Because at
Candy
first they had
everywhere.
pizza, and then I went out after, and then there was Raising Cane's, and I'm sitting there
Mhm.
eating the Raising Cane's, and FP turns around and goes, "Where the hell did you get that?" I'm like, "Oh, there's tons." FP dabbled in everything. He looked at me. He's like, "I can't afford another calorie." I'm like, "Well, you're probably going to because we're staying for the Steelers game." It was crazy, and then
Dude,
Big
that-
Cat would be out of nowhere. "All right, who wants candy?" And just like go off.
Well, that was the worst part, man, because that first night I didn't go to the stream. I was working, but the first night they had us and we were just watching the games. And they, like you said, they ordered all this pizza, all this pasta. They had chicken parm there. I had an entire cutlet to myself as well as a full pizza pie. They had a sopressata pizza that was out of this world. I just couldn't stop. I was full. But the thing that really banged me was all the candy that they just have lying around. I don't even really eat candy, but apparently if you put a bag of Swedish fish in front of me, I'll eat the whole fucking thing. It'll just be gone. It was nuts.
It's a
They have
problem
a-
if it's
they have
just
a-
there.
They have a full-on popcorn machine that's just
Yeah.
going at all times.
I know. I
Insane.
stayed away from that.
It's and you know what I said to Big Cat too, like that is every guy's dream. That office that they have is everybody's dream. And I bet you there's people that go in there that take it for granted, that aren't happy, that say they want to go do a different job and whatnot. And they're probably so used to just going there when in reality you see somebody from the outside come in and look at this thing. It's a dream, that place.
And there was just like a lot of people there, and it was just like a lot, like it was fun. I thought it was cool. And then obviously the next day we filmed 2 golf videos that we got one coming out next week, and that was hilarious too. I mean, they're the real deal. It's like it was pretty cool to be out there.
The thing that was eye opening to me is that the amount of content that you get, like they have those cameras going all day to where you don't even know that the cameras are on at times, but the amount of content that they get throughout the day with those cameras going the all day is amazing. To where we haven't had that with where we're streaming now, but we haven't had a day where we're just streaming the entire Sunday, which is what we've always planned. With our schedule, it's been hard to have a day home where we are streaming.
Yaman had one.
Yo,
The
they had
7-hour gauntlet.
They had
Yeah.
guys there. They have guys there whose job during the stream, I don't know how their arms are still up. They sit in the chair just holding the phone, recording continuously until something crazy happens, and then they chop it up and post it. And like I imagine their arms just like fucking like it's crazy. And then they rotate because it's so much stuff. But that's their content factor.
Well, they have the 24/7 security cam going too,
Right.
and I was like, at first I was like, oh, that makes sense. There's a lot of cool shit in here. People might want to steal. And he was like, no, it's just in case someone does something stupid and we want to pull the footage and use it for content.
And they do.
And they do, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Well,
been
you also
so many
got Jerry
times.
in there for the Jerry After Darks all hours of the day. He just
Yeah.
did that other. Did you see that the 3-point shots, which was ridiculous because he didn't end up making half of them. I think he made 1 out of 12.
Yeah, I'll tell you something that was really cool. Watching FP, I was at the airport watching it, and like he gave me the heads up. He's like, "I'm about to go on." Watching FP do the yak gauntlet was
He
awesome.
did the gauntlet?
Oh yeah.
You didn't know that?
No, they didn't. I saw him on.
Yeah,
the
they didn't
I didn't
show
see the
it.
Gauntlet.
No, they showed it. I was watching too.
Well, but they didn't clip it up. I usually see him on social.
Oh.
He did the gauntlet.
How did he do?
How'd he do?
The football gave him a bit of trouble. When he was throwing tight spirals, he just couldn't
It's a
get it into
small
body
thing.
armor.
I
hole.
didn't know he did. Did he rain the jumper?
No,
Nerves?
I told him I thought the things that were going to get him would be like the soccer's tough to get that thing in net. The baseball too, throwing it up and being precise with the baseball. But yeah, the football thing really got him to where he struggled there. I know. I thought he was going to
well,
well
though.
through it.
I didn't see it. I have to go back and look.
Yeah. But no, I mean, he did okay. I expected him. I thought he was going to do really good. He just struggled with that football one. Even
How
he
long
said
did it
to me,
take
he
him?
didn't think that.
Around 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. They were impressed in the beginning. They're like, oh, wow. And then he really started slowing up.
Did
with the
he
football.
answer the trivia at the end? Did they
Crush
ask-
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh, that's
crush that.
amazing.
I knew he would crush that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was really cool to see. All right, folks. Now we're going to head on over. This is a new segment for the boys. We want to do, obviously, we like to gamble with DraftKings. It's not sponsored, but we just like to gamble and we just like to give out picks. So, picks of the week brought to you by the boys. I want to keep track of these things too to see how everybody's doing. We'll release these podcasts like on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I think ideally we go with either a Saturday game or a Sunday game. Our picks of the week brought to you by the Sportsmen do it on your guys' podcast.
Yeah, we went undefeated last week too.
Yeah, so let's get into that picks of the week. We'll reach out to FP, get a pick from FP as well. But let's start with Poppy. Poppy, you ready for your pick?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm swinging a hot stick, by the way. I'm 4-2 on the Sportsman, as Bob just referenced. So just keep that in mind. just remember that when I'm about to give this pick out. I'm going to go. There's a game 1:00 on Sunday. Houston is heading to Green Bay, and Green Bay is currently favored by 2.5 points. I love them in this spot. I love the guys in Lambeau. I love the guys in Green. Joey's team. I think Houston's a little overrated, and I think the Packers are one hell of a football team, especially in the North. I mean, you guys clearly have the best division going. I mean, it's not even close. So I really like Jordan Love. I really like that kid, Jaden Reed. I think your defense is coming along. I think CJ Stroud's struggling a little bit this year. I think Nico Collins is out. I like the Packers -2.5 this weekend.
Wow, good for you, Pop.
Cutsy, take it away.
Unlike Pop supporting my team, I'm not going to support his team. I like the Giants this week at +3.5. Listen, let me tell you something, and Pop has been preaching this all week. The Eagles team with Sirianni at the helm is in absolute disarray. I had the Eagles money line this last week over the Cleveland Browns, and I had to sweat that out. A -420 money line. They barely won, and Sirianni was terrible after the game, chirping the fans. I think the Giants are in a position here where they're playing pretty decent football right now. They played Cincinnati tight last week. They're playing at home. They're getting plus 3.5 against the Eagles. Divisional game, anything can happen. Give me the plus 3.5.
All right, folks, as you know, MLB NFL season is in full swing. Make sure you do it the right way. If you do go to a live event, me probably going to a Yankees game sometime in the near future if they could hang on. Make sure you do your live events the right way. Everyone can use our new code BDSPOD15. That's BDSPOD15 for 15% off any tickets on SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not. So that's new or returning customers. Use promo code BDSPOD15 for 15% off tickets on SeatGeek. Download the SeatGeek app today. Back to the program we go.
I think the Eagles can win this, but it's going to be a very hard-fought game, and I think the Giants are going to cover.
Okay, there you have it. Lock them in for the G-men, and let's head over to Yams.
The Giants looked awful last
game they played.
They're off.
So do the Eagles, though.
So do the Eagles?
So do the Eagles. I know.
So do the Eagles.
The Eagles are
great pick.
terrible.
I'm going college football this Saturday. The marquee matchup. The Georgia Bulldogs are headed to Austin, Texas, to take on the Texas Longhorns. Now, here's the thing. Texas has not played one good team this year. They're the number one team in the country. They played Michigan, who we all know is a fraud. And now they're going to play against a real team. Forget the spread. Give me Georgia money line. They're 3.5-point dogs. And they are going to go into Texas and beat them.
The Fadem pick of the week.
The what?
The Fadem pick
Listen,
of the
week. Twitter official picks have a winning record this season.
Oh,
and
it certainly does not feel that
his
way.
His play of the week last week was a parlay was Ohio State and Ole Miss.
That wasn't all three of those games.
They both lost.
That wasn't Twitter official. That was simply a dog parlay.
Ole Miss lost and Ohio State lost.
I'm a big believer in pretenders against contenders. I take the contenders.
Ohio State was up 7-0. He goes, Ohio State might win this game by 50.
I sure did. I sure did. Yeah. And you know what? that's my pick. And you know what? The good news about picks is you get to see what happens.
And we're rooting for it. We're rooting for it.
And the biggest part of Yaman's pick is at halftime, take a look at who's losing and then hammer that team too. Double down at halftime.
The old live.
Working.
Yeah.
What do you like, Bobby?
Oh, man. Give me Falcons, 2.5 at home over the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks stink right now.
Yeah, they do.
I think the Falcons are catching their groove right now. So give me the Falcons 2.5, and you could follow
get behind that, Bobby. I like that.
Fun fact about the Falcons, much like the Cowboys, they only play home games. You'll never catch them on the road. Have you ever seen them on the road? They only play in Atlanta. I take a note.
That's true.
They only play in
You know what
Atlanta.
else is crazy is they have a Chick-fil-A in that stadium.
Yeah, and it's closed.
It's closed every Sunday that they play. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I just asked FP for his pick, so we should be getting a pick.
I want a running tally. I want a social post, updated records, units won, units lost.
Oh,
do you want that, Yams?
I do. You know what? The proof is in the pudding there.
Man, he was that last stream. We did a stream where he was losing. He was going at it with the chat. Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something. Sometimes if you're losing and on top of losing, you have some, I don't want to say moron, but you have somebody who doesn't know ball talking.
Oh, that's the chat.
You got to respect the chat.
No, I love the chat, but sometimes they'll say things that are factually incorrect about sports while you're losing, and it's just wrong. It's just incorrect. It's tough to deal with.
I hate that the chat does control the stream and run the stream. Sure. The thing that is tough, though, is like if you're losing a game and then like you tell somebody that you're losing it, they'll be like, why would you take them or whatever like that. That always hurts.
The chat is the stream is always better, in my opinion, when Pop is there. I feel like the vibes when we get all four of us are so immaculate. Like, I can't wait till that last stream we did when the Falcons won against the Buccaneers on that last second.
That was great.
That was one of the funnest times. Yeah. And maybe it was just obviously it was a great game that we got, but like I feel like when you throw in the Pop and him and Yaman are going back and forth at it, and then you got me and Bob. It's just the vibes are an all-time high. I'm dying to get out there to do another one soon.
Well, Bob's Yankees are looking good. They look like they might be.
Yeah.
Last night, Bob sent me a text. I think it was 4 a.m, and it was just the World Series lines, and it said like Yankees -105, Dodgers. No comment, no nothing. It was just the Yankees are currently favored to win the World Series, and the good thing about that is that the team who's favored always wins. So you're in good hands now. They're good. I do think the Dodgers could give them a run for their money.
Oh,
if
I think
they can get by the Mets.
I think the Mets could.
Yeah.
The Dodgers. It's funny looking at it. I always like just look at the odds for it. They have the Mets at like +450 and the Dodgers like +180, which pretty much I think shows if the Mets win, that the Yankees would have a much better shot. As hot as and as good as the Mets are right now, and they're scary, just odds wise, the Yankees would be favored.
Yeah, but you would rather play the Dodgers because if you lost, think about it like this: if you lost to the Dodgers, Bob, you could lose knowing you lost to the best team in baseball. Essentially, if you lose to the Mets, Bob, that is going to be horrific.
It would suck, but that's the risk you got to take. Also, if they play the Dodgers, they have to play. The Dodgers would have home field advantage too, which is huge. I think the Dodgers are even with the odds that Vegas are showing. I think we would much rather.
I would rather play a talented team than a hot team. A hot team.
I agree.
And the Mets are hot. So
I
would rather.
I don't think you want anything to do with the Mets. Because what Pop said, they're the hottest team in baseball right now. They just beat the Phillies pretty handily. Sorry, Pop. And then now they're going toe to toe with the Dodgers, who are also unbelievable. And on top of that, if you lose to the Mets, every guy who's a Mets fan, Bob, is going to come out of the woodwork, you're going to hear it,
including Teddy Dobbs. Teddy Dobbs, one of the biggest Mets fans.
When did he become a Mets guy?
It's crazy.
It's his quote unquote National League team.
I love Teddy, but that's the first sign that you're not something's off. When you have
I would when the Yankees go out, I would have a team that I would like to see win, but you're never going to catch me dead telling people that that's my team. You know what I mean? There's just no way.
I believe a Stubby pick has come across.
Yeah,
here.
Go ahead, fire that in.
Nicholas Stubby has the Bengals -6 over the Browns. Per Nick Stubby, the Browns stink. And they just traded away Amari Cooper, and the Bengals are catching some momentum, which is true. They are good. The Bengals are very you don't really know what you're getting out of them.
Yeah. FP's turned for our fantasy league. FP's turned on the Jets to where I think it really sank in with him that he might have to do this pancake challenge. So once that hit, he beat Joe.
Starting with me last week, all of a sudden he set his lineup for the first time, and his team went out, waxed my ass. And then this week he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to beat Bob." I'm like, "You're beating Bob?"
Tell you what. Yeah. If he loses that challenge, you think he's going to flip those pancakes? I think I'm going to lose, but I'm going to lose.
He's going to flip that pancake.
Yeah.
It was a crepe.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose. I won one. I beat
Teddy Dobbs.
Yeah, Teddy stinks.
And you know what makes
I just made a trade. I just made a trade with him. Maybe I helped him out. I don't know.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
I need wide receiver help because I have Puka Nacua out. I got injuries. So I traded him Tony Pollard for Jamison Williams. Now, keep in mind, I have already my running backs are I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Ramondre Stevenson, and I got J.K. Dobbins too, sitting in. So I had all these running backs and I needed a wide receiver. Jamison Williams, I think the 23rd ranked wide receiver for the Lions. So just gives me somebody to plug in for a time, but I gave him a pretty good running back.
You know who stinks? Stinks?
Who?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my God, they're bad.
No team puts an egg up the way the Cowboys put it. They get blown out in such grand fashion anytime they have any sort of real opponent. It's ridiculous. How long is this going to go on for? It's laughable.
It's
they got no defense.
Did you see that Jerry Jones thing?
The what?
With the
Yeah.
with the local radio?
It's real tough. Jerry.
No,
Yeah, that's
wait.
brutal.
Talk us through that. What
He
happened?
went off.
There was a local radio station that was like kind of pressing him a little bit about the Cowboys and the moves that he made during the offseason, and he snapped, pretty much saying like their job isn't to just question him about all the bad decisions that he's making. If they think they is, then he'll find somebody else to do
He's
that
gotta
job.
Stay out of the limelight for 1 minute.
It's your job. Like it was. Yeah, I don't know. There's no accountability. People don't.
On the other hand, Bob's
No,
Jets,
there's not.
Bob's Jets made a huge acquisition.
Wow.
Is that something you're excited about?
They
Or
stink, too.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, but at the same time too, even getting Devontae now going 2-4, and that loss against the Bills was such
Should have won the game.
bad. Oh, what
Your
an
field goal
awful
kicker, Bob,
loss.
has now cost you guys 2 games.
Yeah,
He cost you that game against Denver. Now, given it was a muddy, like a
Lot of
rainy
wind.
day, windy, but he missed 2 field goals inside of 45 yards last game, which would have, I mean, you guys would have won that game. And you know what? I get it. It's windy. Your job is to kick field goals. Learn how to kick with some wind. I mean, you're missing a 36-yarder. I mean, that's
Pop
the difference
made
in the game.
Ticket would have made it.
Pop would have put it right through the uprights.
I'm an indoor kicker. I don't kick outside.
whoa, Pop.
Oh,
I don't kick outside. I don't kick outside.
You kicks
I don't
going
kick outside.
outside. We don't have access to
Where are
any
we
homes,
finding
Pop.
indoor field goals?
I'm just saying I kick inside.
Atlanta.
That's all I'm saying. You
You gotta
find the
do
venue,
Atlanta.
but it's true. That's true. Unfortunately, the Falcons are always there, though, so I don't ever have an opportunity.
By the way, Big Head, I don't know if he was fucking with us. He seems to think that Pop could kick the 40-yarder.
If
I got news for you,
if you have
Joe.
any doubt,
He was fucking with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You
I
called
love
him on it though, Pop. You're like, you're fucking with me. He's like, no, I'm being honest.
dude, when he started
was fucking
calling,
with me.
he started calling ticket Pop. It was the funniest thing of all. He's like, Pop. I was dying. It's so funny.
And that was also a bit, too. He was
Yes.
not calling me
Everything
positive.
And
had
a many bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Buffet
bit
of
never
bits.
ends. Yeah. That was funny. Or even PFT, because PFT actually tried out for either like the Arena Football League or something. So hearing Ticket and PFT talk about the field goals and he was like asking them about it, that was awesome.
See,
What
now
did he
that's a
have to
guy
say?
who I think actually showed a little bit of faith. I don't think he thought I could
He
do it,
did.
but he was trying to get there.
Well,
in
you're
a
part
sense.
of the kicker fraternity. He's just supports kicker supporting kicker.
It's true.
You gotta help your boy through.
But Pop's not a kicker.
Well,
Whoa!
well.
Well, I mean, let's call it a spade. Pop, how many field goals have you
It's
kicked
true.
in your
I've never
life?
held that title in my life. Not even.
So
in high
I'm
school.
saying he's
But
going
I
to attempt to
kick.
kick, but you can't give him the
Yeah,
title of
I'm not
kicker.
a kicker. Yeah.
It's like saying you threw a football on the beach. You're not a quarterback.
That's
What are we
true.
doing
I mean,
here,
Yeah, I mean,
Bob?
Pop, there's going to come a time where it's going to be put up or shut up to where we're going to have to get it done.
and at this point, if I make this field goal,
You should get
before we
something.
go into, you guys should have to do something.
Sure.
Let me tell you something, Pop.
We'll do a lot.
If you hit that field goal, I will kneel down to you. I mean, you will
Whoa!
get such
Three
the
tries.
credit.
3 tries.
We will apologize. I think every single one of us will have to apologize. Joe might make some excuse of something, but we really should all say yes.
Well,
we
we should make a
apologize.
deal that if like Pop hits a field goal, we have to do X. If he misses the field goal,
Like that.
he's got to do X.
What do you
Okay.
want, Pop?
Maybe give some
Oh,
suggestions.
I'll have to think about it. But one other thing I want to bring up is, am I allowed to get a coach before this thing happens?
Yeah, sure.
I can.
You
I
do
can
whatever
take some
you want to
lessons.
do. You
Oh,
could be
okay.
like Rocky and go out and get Mickey and have him help you.
I also think when you do it, you need to be in full pads with the old school one bar kicker mask.
I don't think
The
he
Rogers
needs-
chin strap. I think that
Yeah, we got to do it, and then
At
we
least
all
the
got to
helmet.
show up in pads.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be fucking.
The other
awesome.
thing is that I was doubting it a lot, and then out of nowhere, Jensen posted on Instagram him kicking a
Yeah.
40-yarder.
It wasn't
like-
measured.
like-
How do you know it was 40 yards?
Well, I mean, he probably walked it off, but like it was nothing, and that concerned me. I know he's a soccer player, but if Jensen's raining 40 yards like it's
He's
nothing,
a soccer player.
Well, yeah,
Jeff.
he's a
I
soccer
know.
player. Those guys
The
tend
guy
to.
boots the ball every
Just
game.
saying,
And to be
I
honest-
didn't think he'd be able to do it either.
to be honest, I'm not sure he calculated the
Yes.
10-yard end zone. No, but Joe, I
No.
think he might have kicked a further field
No,
goal.
I
than
don't
he
think
did.
No
he was on a
way.
football- He was just in a park. I don't think he was on a
Isn't
football
it
field.
15 yards from the end zone to the, is that you got to add
10.
15
Well,
yards?
No, you
You
had
add
17.
10
You
and
had
then 7.
10 and
because-
7.
Yeah, so it's
So
17.
you'd have to be at like the 23, 24 yard line.
A 40-yard kick is the 23-yard line. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
I don't know why they pace off though. Like the kickers always move back 7 yards from the line. What if you wanted to go closer or farther? You know what I mean?
They need to walk up to it. Like they need to.
No, but I'm saying that when they line up a kick, when it's 4th down, if the ball's in the 23, the kicker and the holder lines up at the 30. I don't know why. Why can't he line up at the 25, at the 27? I know there's less room.
Oh, to keep guys from trying to block it.
I understand, but nobody's tested 1 yard closer.
Maybe it's illegal.
It probably is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. I just think it's like what Joe said. I just think if you do go closer,
If you go
the odds
closer,
of,
it's going to be harder to
Yeah,
get
you
the
can't.
ball over the
No, I-
defender.
I understand, but I'm saying maybe I've never seen anybody try.
What I don't understand is why the kicker doesn't take a longer, like on a kickoff. Why he doesn't stand even further back and get more of a
That
running.
he's
start.
not
Then
allowed
you'll get
to.
it blocked. The guy
You're not
from the
allowed to do
side
a
will-
full run.
Oh, I thought
That-
they would block it. It would get blocked.
No,
I just
you're not.
take-
You're. I also think though you're not allowed to take like a 7-step run into the kick.
You should be allowed to.
I don't
It's
know if there's
it's called a place kick.
I don't know if there's a rule behind
No,
it
it's
though. I just think they
doable.
just you don't have the time. The line would get to you by the time you do that. I think you could go as far back as you want. I don't know for
These are
sure.
things you have to know as a kicker, though, Pop. So
Sure.
But Pop like getting like a trainer for this, with all due respect, Pop, it's like me getting a trainer to
Where
teach
are
me
you
how to
gonna
dunk.
find someone?
See, that's not correct.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
so
the tr-
impossible.
the
You're
trainer-
never going to be able to. That is such
Okay.
disrespect.
No,
that
it
I
is. Like,
couldn't- that's
if-
crazy.
no, I don't think it is. Like if I got a trainer to teach me how to dunk, like no matter what he does to me, I'm probably not going to be able to dunk.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
I'll
that
have
has
it
to do
closer.
with you're never going to be able to jump much higher than you can. You can kick a ball. You can learn to kick a ball farther. You can absolutely do that.
Who are you?
And you know
gonna
what?
get
I got
to
the
help
leg to
you
do
out?
it. I'm
Like,
going to
do you
say it
have
now.
an-
I got the leg.
You have an
Yeah,
ex-kicker in
are
the
you gonna-
DMs that you're going to call upon,
who's
Pop?
going to help you?
Oh, there's plenty of people in the DMs who are begging. They're begging to help me in.
How many
He's
like?
gonna
How many
call
like?
and he's gonna
D3
realize
guys?
real fast when that guy shows up that he got the wrong guy, man. you know.
I can't wait till you get on your knees, Bob, and you have to apologize, dog. When you have to apologize,
Sick.
that's going to be the day.
I will.
Like if it happens, Sick, can you just promise you say, Bob, get down on your knees?
Whoa.
Pop, if you
Those are your
get
words,
up
Bob.
there, realistically, if you get up there and just first one you just snap left, second one's like a ground ball, and then the third one is just a shank right. Like what's the reaction? Are you gonna like hang your head in shame or like what? Like how's that?
Where-
I guess I'll have to wear it. But what I think would be even better is if I shank the first two, and then the third one's just a fucking dart.
That'd be
you know,
great.
good from 50.
But
That'd
you
be
know,
great.
Pop, have you seen like on the college game day these kids who think they can kick the field goal so easy and it's a 25-yarder? And I think there's only been like one kid who's done it in the last like
Well, there's
how many weeks?
There's a lot of pressure about being on national television, and two, having all those fucking people there. It's the same thing as when you get on a tee box. It's a lot easier to hit a straight drive when there's nobody there, as opposed to when there's a fucking gallery. So
Pop,
that's-
you know, we're,
That's the biggest thing.
yours is going to be on national television.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, then I
Could
don't
you
like my
imagine,
odds.
Bob, that we got like an actual event created where we got like spectators and we had like sponsored like the pop Friday Night Lights with the pop or something, and like it would be unbelievable.
Let me tell you who wouldn't be satisfied is those fucking sponsors after that third kick gets shanked.
It'd
You know
be
what I think
so
about?
good, man.
Like especially Pop, you make a good point with the tee box of how much harder that is, and it's true. Like when we did that shot at glory at the Waste Management, it seemed impossible for somebody to hit the green and stick it on the green. We were at the 16th tee box, par 3. You had to stick it on the green in front of that whole crowd. We talk about how nervous we were then, but it was like impossible for somebody to hit the green when you add
So
in that
scary.
crowd element, especially in golf with how hard of a game it is. And like if you asked me to throw a pass to Joe. Joe does a poster in front of a ton of people. I have so much confidence doing that. When it comes to hitting a golf ball and you add in the people, it changes everything.
Bob, you know who was at the tournament this last week was that Kelly Slater guy does the rap. I still have PTSD from when he did it at the Waste Management, and he started up. I don't know if he alluded to it again, and he did it, and I absolutely hooked a drive way right. I cannot get one. I can't get one good.
They had you guys hit. They had you guys hit in front of people.
Yes, there's nobody on the thing. It was just like the players in the tournament, but he was doing it. So like Blake went first, Blake Griffin went first, and then I was next. And I told them before, I'm like, yo, if I get back on that tee box, that guy starts rapping about how I'm gonna like hit a shot, it's over. I still have PTSD from the Waste Management. And sure enough, I snap hooked one way right out of bounds.
Kelly Slater is a surfer, by the way.
Yeah, he's a surfing icon.
You're talking about Kelly.
Kelly Slater is the greatest surfer alive.
Kelly, what's his name?
I know James Kelly. I think he's
James Kelly. Yeah, I don't know.
Kelly Slater.
Kelly Slater's out there rapping. Kelly Slater's like a legendary surfer.
Yeah, I looked up Kelly rapper and R. Kelly showed up, so that's definitely not it. What's his name?
I think it's James.
James Kelly. Yeah, something along those lines. That's so good, Kelly Slater. That's unreal.
Yo, I don't know how on these things, like going back to the Scottsdale thing when you guys were on the tee box for the glory thing. I don't like what would happen if you did hurt somebody. Like, I don't understand how that hasn't happened yet. Is there like liability insurance?
One of my favorite videos of all time, the Matt James video. He rocked somebody. Yeah,
the cameraman.
Ugh. And what ended up happening? Was the guy okay?
It was bad.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was.
And it didn't help that he was wearing overalls with nothing else, so he had to run over like Huckleberry Finn to like check in on him.
Yeah, to see him like run over in these overalls to go check on him.
It's like you with the camera. Like it's a dangerous, like when you're standing there when these guys are teeing off. I honestly, the smart play now, as I know we're doing now, is we put the camera down so nobody dies. But yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple instances that Bob almost legitimately killed me one time.
I felt really bad about that.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't mean it, but it was just there's only been one time where I really get terrified.
Where was this?
That spooked me out. And I think we were at Tesoro when that happened, right, Bob?
Yeah, Tesoro. Yeah,
is this podcast coming out on Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can talk about the speaking of hitting balls. We can talk about the final episode of the Band and Belt. If you haven't watched it, just skip this. Just spoilers coming in 3, 2, 1. I finished it yesterday. It is the greatest cutscene meltdown of all time. Of all the cutscene meltdowns,
I didn't go that crazy though.
No. Golf wise. No, not even screaming. The ball's going. First of all, the intensity of the match.
Don't give too much. I'm talking about the meltdown.
If you haven't watched the Band and Belt, just skip 5 minutes ahead. The intensity of what was happening, because you knew he wanted to win real bad. Him and FP coming down to the wire, and they both are by that bunker on the right side, and he fucking just sculls it over the green. And the funniest part is that his next shot he launched, and you turn, because you're mentioning almost hitting somebody. Our caddy, I think it was Tim or Chris, whichever one. I think it was actually Chris. The camera pans, you just see him duck, and the ball falls right over his head into the other bunker. And it was just this.
I screamed 4.
What?
I screamed 4.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, speaking of what you're talking about, it's my favorite. It's the best. It might be the best 3 minutes in.
By the way, I was playing tremendous golf up until that one moment.
Made it so funny. It was unbelievable. It
was tense coming down to the wire. It really was. I remember the moment.
I really thought I maybe could pull off the upset of upsets. But.
And then you slapped it back all the way to the other side, and then you duffed a chip, and then you duffed a putt, and then you put it for 8.
All right, what are we doing here, man?
It was one of the funnier. It was beautiful.
Is the episode good?
Yeah, I think it's great, especially the ending. It's fantastic.
It's all we
the other greatest meltdown though is in Lake Geneva when he claimed that you didn't help him find the ball, and he just lost his mind.
Which one?
You hit a perfect drive and you couldn't find the ball, and you started blaming Yaman that he was out in the fairway.
Which
and
I
he couldn't-
wasn't.
Yeah, he was fucking higher than a kite off the CBD.
I was on the tee
The
box.
guy was grazing through the field like a cattle.
All the comments were saying that there was a ball right next to you that you just missed. So I don't even know.
I saw it was a Callaway, and it may have been a different ball that I grabbed, but I was pretty sure it wasn't the one that I used, and it probably was.
It had to be because his shot was right down the fairway. There was no way that it was kind of remind me of the Pinehurst thing, Joe, when the guy told you to aim a certain spot and you hit the spot and then the ball was gone.
My round was done. That was that was the quickest round that was over before it began. It was the first shot of the round. Pinehurst on 4. The guy goes, "You want a perfect drive? You want to take that line right there." I'm not joking when I tell you I hit the ball exactly where this guy told me, and it was nowhere down, and I could not get over it. I kept looking so much so that Bob and Bat 9 Chuck were already on the next hole team off, and I was still looking for my shot. The round was over.
If we had that on film, it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It was fucking hysterical. And then the round was over.
I was absolutely furious.
All right, boys. Without further ado, let's head on over into our Q&A segment brought to you by the Par 3 Poppy. Poppy, take it away, big dog.
First question comes from _2 Erica 2 _. Bob was not a fan of Bryson's grab bag. So what are the top 5 cart snacks?
Great question.
I'll throw one in there just in the mix. It doesn't get enough credit that I really like. That's a good golf snack. Give me beef jerky. I'll get it going there.
I'll go peanuts.
Yeah, I was
And out of respect to FP, I like peanuts. I don't have them too much, but FP makes them a good snack. Like when you see me and you're like, that works.
He does. He can dominate a bag of peanuts.
You got to go chips. Like any kind of bag of chips goes really hard.
Yeah, I don't
know, but then your
my
hands
problem
get
is the fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not cheesies, but like not
Even
Cheetos,
salt,
but
like-
like you do like salt and vinegar chips. Those are
I'd go
great.
like sunflower seeds. That's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
It's a really good one. Yeah, something you could take on the fly.
Or in honor of the episode coming out today, or well, coming out the Pulisic episode coming out on Wednesday, is you boys on the back nine got yourself some smoothies. Started calling yourself the Smoothie Boys.
Oh,
Add that little,
boys.
a little peanut butter in there. That
Perfect.
could turn your
It doesn't get messy. It's like you just got a straw. It's perfect.
Dude, I'm on a big time smoothie kick. I love a good smoothie. Whatever smoothie you do, it's just like an acai bowl. Peanut butter has got to be involved.
I
Are you a
agree.
3 native smoothie guy, Bob?
Oh yeah. I love a good smoothie, man.
You know
I
when Bob
really
likes
do.
something, his voice changes. It goes like deeper, like it's his version of like Barry White. Oh yeah. It gets so good. You know, you just add that little peanut butter in there. His whole demeanor
Well, that's-
changes. He gets like naughty with it. I'm like, yo, dude. Oh yeah.
on a big Indian kick too. Been having a lot of Indian food lately.
Where do you go for
Oh, it's
Indian
the
out here?
best.
Where
Dude,
were you
good
in
delivery.
Scotland?
Indian's awesome, dude. No, that was the best Indian that we've ever had. There's a lot of deliveries. But that's the thing with LA. LA has so many spots for anything. I love a
You
good
do butter
samosa.
chicken?
Yeah,
Or
What
do
do they
you
call
like
the bread? What do they call the
chicken
bread?
tikka
Like
masala.
chicken tikka?
Naan?
Naan.
Garlic
oh my God,
naan.
the best. The best. It's like a cloud.
Yeah, man.
Chicken tikka masala is good. Butter
Yeah.
chicken is very good. It's
Yeah,
No,
that
no,
place that we had in
gonna
Scotland
say.
was the greatest Indian food I've ever had in my entire life. But let me tell you something. If you don't have any silverware to eat it with, it's torture.
Oh.
It's
Ruining the
it's
meal.
ruining the meal. It
You
ruins
had
it.
a spatula.
Home. I'm talking about. Remember when we didn't have food? It was late at night, and like Rick pulled like a Drake, and he just called the restaurant. He's like, "We're coming. You're staying open for us." And we showed up and ate Indian food until 1 a.m.
Table
Dude.
like it was the Last Supper. It was like the longest rectangular table I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like Pop was on the other end. I'd have to shout.
That's the famous pop peace sign.
That was the best. Pop just panics whenever you go to take a group shot. Pop just goes into pure panic mode and he doesn't know what to do.
I mean, I don't know what to do with my hands ever.
Yeah.
I don't know where they belong. I don't know where they go, what to do. So I've been going with the split one a lot. But
And
some
you know
people
what?
don't get the split one.
The
You
thing
mastered
is,
the smile too. You go like chin up a little bit, smile. You've mastered it.
he wants
My
to take a
favorite-
good picture so bad that it's so
No, that's
that
not true.
He wants it to turn out good though. You know what I mean? Like he really wants
Sometimes
to do
it
the photo.
does.
Who
Do you
doesn't
remember
want it
the
to
one-
turn out well?
Of course.
My favorite one was the one that we did in Wisconsin at the ice cream parlor. He
Oh,
looked
yeah.
like look at this.
Yeah, he chiseled.
Here it
It's
is.
an all-time. Yeah,
There's
nice.
always
That's a
listen,
phenomenal
That's
picture.
crushed that.
That's
Crushed
the blue
that.
steel look. This is the blue
Yeah.
steel.
There's always a moment when we take a group photo and the phone gets handed back to Bob and he turns it to his own face to look at it. And you know it's hit or miss whether in the next 10 minutes you're going to be getting screenshots of his fucking face zoomed in like that. And that's why pictures with this crew is like it's life or death sometimes.
Oh my god! I look massive there, dude.
It's life or death, dude.
That might be our greatest picture of all
Great
time.
picture,
That was a great one.
There's few things I enjoy more than that crew taking a group shot together, and like something like that, like an ice cream parlor, is just It looked like a cover, like it looked like a band.
Yeah, like somebody said a CD cover.
Yeah, that was gold. All right, Pop. Next question there.
All right, next question comes from TP Carino Jr. Most shocking thing you've learned about each other over the years?
Oh man.
Go ahead, Jet.
About you guys?
Yeah.
I gotta think. To be honest, like I'm really shocking. Like I think we're all nuts. Like nothing shocks me so much anymore. I think Cutsy in the old days when we lived in LA would sometimes tell me about like random stories that he would get into, like whether it be in like high school or like even like abroad. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything like specific. Like I feel like I've accepted how ridiculous and crazy and demonic everybody is that like it's all part of the thing.
Who's the craziest?
I would say, I mean, in certain ways, you, in physical ways, you, in mental ways, it's a tight race.
There's some wacky
Face
wackiness.
values, definitely Joe on the surface,
Right, but
surface
you know
level
what?
stuff.
If you dive into that brain, he might have it together more than
I think that's true.
I think that's a fair. Yes, surface level, definitely Joe for sure. But mental, there's a lot. You can make a case for just.
Bob, you're up there, Bob.
I know. I get it.
The times when I go in the airport, I see Bob pacing around, just walking around the terminal. It's just, I'm like, what is going on in this guy's brain right now?
Yeah, Look, I think you could make a strong case for any of us.
I think it's probably me, Jet, or you. I think FP is crazy, but I think he's safer on that end.
FP also is.
I think it's the three of us.
Yeah.
I'll say I have one. The most shocking thing to this day, I still think about it. I don't bring it up often, but I have a picture, and I was sworn to never release it. I think I showed Bob once. The first time I ever roomed with Ben Yamin.
You said this before at the last one.
Did I?
I don't know where he's going with this.
And I had been to his apartment many times. He's got shit everywhere. He's got like it's not very clean. This guy travels around with a steamer because he needs his clothes. He can't wear wrinkly clothes. He's very fastidious about having unwrinkled clothes, so he makes sure to travel with a steamer. This guy.
Of all people, yeah. When you see the bag too, you would never think.
I've got a steamer and I have a lint roller at all times.
Yeah, that is wild.
I just don't like wrinkles. Like I just don't like wrinkles, specifically pants. I hate wrinkled pants. You know what? I am the craziest because I just don't fuck with wrinkled pants.
I used to wonder why even if the trip was 2 days, why he always had to check a bag. He couldn't bring a carry-on. And now I know because he's got to bring a steamer.
It also baffles me if we're talking about Yamin.
Oh, come on. All right, go for it.
I mean, while we're talking about Yamin, the fact that he has to be lined up at the gate before the flight, like an hour before, sitting there, like as if they're going to announce that they're boarding an hour early, like to be prepared that he cannot be left behind. It's like he's got like some kind of PTSD from a time he missed a flight or something. It's crazy.
Anytime we're at a hotel, and a lot of times it's me and FP that'll call the Uber, I'll send a text and just say, I'm calling the Uber now. Every single time after I say that, Yam will text back, I'm downstairs, or I'm in the lobby. Like he's already down there. Every single time.
I'm a very I like being prepared.
By the way, I don't mind the punctual.
No, it's not like it's because I'm sick in the head. But it is. That's how it shows up, with my prepared pants and my being on time to places and being waiting outside for people when they pick me up. But Pop, in fairness to me, You don't pack anything. Every single trip on by day 3,
True.
that hole is a tiny bit bigger in the right side of the pants, and you're wearing the same pants. So
Yeah.
it's
You
not
always need a washer machine.
it's not necessary.
Always.
Yeah, see, I'd rather check a bag than do laundry on the trip.
He took
you know?
a backpack to Scotland.
Yeah, I don't get it. I
It
don't.
was like a duffel bag that barely fit like two items of clothing. And then one
It
of
all
them-
worked out.
Yeah, you did.
No, of course. I'm just, it's different.
The only time that really banged me was when that
Wisconsin.
incident in Lake Geneva. That the guy took out my best player. He dropped the fucking
the Bloody Mary, all over his
on my
back.
best player and took him out for the rest of the game. I mean,
Listen,
I needed that sweatshirt. It was
Pop
it
in
was a
Scotland. He couldn't pack his dumb Barney vest. He couldn't get it into that bag.
I can't buy anything on these trips. It just won't fit.
Meanwhile, FP got like a print, like a
Guy
piece
was
of
getting
art.
wall mounts, dude.
Yeah.
By the way, there was Bob when we went to the thing today. There was gifts that you could pick out, right? So there was like barbecues. You could get like Sony PlayStation 5s, like all these different things. You know what FP picked out as his gift? You'll never ever guess. It's the most unreasonable thing. You'll never fucking use it.
Hold on. I do. It's a golf thing for sure.
No, it's not a golf thing.
I was gonna say like a foot massager or something.
This guy picked out an entire cold plunge tub that they're going to ship to his house. I got a picture of it. Look at this thing. It's
He
massive.
doesn't use the sauna that
I
I
said
got
to
him.
him, I'm like, precisely, I'm like, now you're going to have a cold plunge to go next to the sauna that you don't use. This is the thing. The Edge cold plunge tub. It's a massive one. And by the way, it said on it was like tub only. And he goes, well, aren't they going to deliver me the water? Is that not crazy?
I mean, if he used the sauna, then yes, I understand it. But he doesn't even use the sauna.
He's
Well,
never
his
even there.
his case with the sauna is that his garage is just as hot as the sauna gets.
Well, now he's got a cold plunge to go into.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's,
I
I
mean-
mean, I have the same garage. It gets hot, but it doesn't get as hot as the sauna. The sauna cooks.
How do you? This is a good question. How do you get the water and the ice?
I think you
into
got
those
you got to
things?
fill it up. I think.
Yeah. You take like a
Like a
take like a
hose?
hose. Yeah.
Because I remember you had to fill your car that one time with ice from like a convenience.
Well, yeah, but that's because it wasn't working. Once it starts working, then you just take the hose and you just fill it up.
Bob
and then
dropped something off in my house and I looked at it. He's just got like 50 bags of ice. It's like he raided the 7-Eleven and just stole all the ice.
And you know what? It wasn't enough. It was still it wasn't enough.
I'm
All
like,
right,
Bob,
Bob.
it's going to be melted by the time you get home, dog.
Let's do one more.
One more? All right. This one comes from Neil_Velasquez. This is a good one. Start, bench, cut. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, and Fernando Tatis Jr.
Cut Tatis.
Okay.
Oh boy, tough one for Bobo.
I think you got it. You get Ohtani for pitching too. So I think you gotta start Ohtani because of the pitching aspect, and then bench Judge. I think if it was just hitting, I'd prefer Judge by a small margin. But with Ohtani, you get the pitching too.
Not this year.
Not this year, no. But
all
just
due-
hitting, I think I give the edge to Judge.
With all due respect to Fernando Tatis Jr. and his father, who would pick him in that area?
Yeah.
I like him. He's fun.
Good
He's-
player.
Yeah.
Good
If
player.
the Yankees have home field advantage, and I welcome all of you guys to come, and I hope you do. If the Yankees get home field advantage for the World Series, I want to go to Game 1.
You know who
right
said he's
before the
got
Arizona
tickets for you,
trip.
Bob?
Who's that?
Gallo said he's got World Series tickets ready for you.
I didn't know that. I was messaging with him yesterday. He didn't mention that.
He literally told me, he's like, I got tickets for the
Surprise.
boys.
Joey Gallo?
No,
No.
AJ Gallo.
Oh, okay. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Long-time friend of
That
the pod. He literally said to me, he's like, let him know if you guys want to come out pending we make it to the World Series. I got 4 tickets in section 110, row 8, field level.
That's a good ticket. Yeah, I mean, look, I really do. I really would want to go right before the
Now,
Arizona
is
trip.
there a seat in the house that if someone offered you a free ticket for the World Series Game 1, it's the worst seat in the house? Would you still take it and go for the atmosphere, or would you be like, I'm gonna
I
stay home?
don't. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know, but like you said, you get the atmosphere. I want to just like you're going for the atmosphere. I want to soak
Right.
in the atmosphere. But no, I mean, if it was that bad where I could barely see, probably not.
The coolest thing is the coolest thing that the Yankees do is that at the beginning of the game, the outfield roll call,
It's
that
good.
would be
I
in the
hate
World Series would be. You hate that? I
Of course
love
it
it.
does. Are you surprised that he hates it?
that is like grow up, man. Like what are you doing? We're grown men like yelling at play. Like I honestly, the first time I thought it was cute. I didn't realize they do it every damn game. It's the same guys out there. Grow
Well,
up.
the thing for me that I can't wrap my head around, the guy that does it, there's a guy that leads it. Like, I watch him do this roll call, and he's there for every game. I need to know what his job is. Like, what his
Exactly. And then they have like celebrity guests with him, and they're like introducing him, and they're like
big
random
thing.
like former Yankees or like Wolf Blitzer. Like it's the weirdest thing of all
They
time.
never had Wolf.
I'm saying he has like
Blitzer out there.
random people. There's like random like celebrities who are there, and he's like, joining us now is Ted
Yeah.
Cruz,
Dude,
and he's here to do the thing.
I'll tell you, till this day, my favorite video was Joey Molinaro doing the
Oh,
it's third down, and then that guy at work the
like
next
banging the
day.
drum.
We've had that bit for we've been talking about that for so long. He just put it like into video form.
I
Bob,
know.
how many times did you watch that video?
Oh, so it's so funny because you always think like these people that go to these events with like the face paint and all, you wonder like what they do. Like imagine it's like a CEO of like Chipotle, you know what I mean? I get such a kick out of it. Same thing. I always wonder the guys who on the fan, like on sports talk radio, like when they just wait hours and hours to get on, only to make just the most ridiculous point. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, aren't you working?
Well, I used to call into the Stephen A. show every single day
Yeah.
from my phone at the Beverly Wilshire.
While
would-
you were
I
working,
would in the winter there was no one at the pool. I was just watching TV, and I would take my phone and call in, and I would take two coworkers' phones, and I would be on a wait list with 3 different phones, hoping to get on the show to make a very good point about the Philadelphia Phillies.
Did you
that I
ever
had
talk
at the
to
time.
Stephen A?
I never got on.
What'd
No.
you go by? Did you have a fake name?
I never even got to that point. It was
Oh,
like
you never even
he
got
was
like
on hold, and then
you-
they told him that he had just dyed his hair bleach blonde, and they said, "We're out on it."
Yeah.
they never like screened you. They were never like, what do you want to talk about?
Correct. I realized it was like once you called in and then you start waiting, that's not how it's. Once you already get to that waiting point, you might as well hang up and try again.
Right.
It's getting the right
Customer
call at the right
service.
time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You need to start calling Humpty Dumpty and Rockenberry. They answer every time.
Do they kind of like vet you though, Pop? Do they ask like what you want to talk about?
Well, the one time I did get through, they ask you what your name is, and then they say, yeah, what's your question for Steven? And I was like, Steven. And but then I was called down to the office or something. The one time I kind of got through, and then I had to hang it up.
Could
But
you imagine Poppy like making a point like about the Eagles and then Stephen A just flaming
Rips
his
him.
ass?
Oh my god, dude! it'd
And
be
then
I
me
would've loved
coming
it.
up to check out to see what he's doing at work.
Yeah,
Oh,
then
yeah.
He sees him the next day. Stephen A rolls in to the hotel the next
He
day.
used to come there often.
I know. I've heard this.
did he
I
really?
am.
I never saw him.
He came into the Boulevard all the time, and he'd always walk in with like these elaborate suits and like these tiny little square glasses. He'd be like, "What's up, brother? How's it going?" And then Bob had a really funny point about him. He would like give you a handshake, and he would think he'd be like, "What's up, my brother? Nice to see you." Be like, "Oh yeah, he just palmed me like 100," and you'd look down and be like a $10 bill. You'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck? I just got a table for this guy. It's like not even a 20. It would be like a $10 bill."
No,
But
well,
he was
like,
so
yeah,
nice.
for us, he'd have like one small bag. So for to give $10 for that, you just put it in. It is a nice tip. It's just the way that he would do it. You would think it's like $1,000 because you'd be like, And you feel the bill, and you're like, "Holy shit, this thing's got to be big." But again, it was a nice tip. But yeah, it the way he would do it. My cousin used to. Jason would call into Colin Cowherd all the time, and every time he got through, he would always say that he just bumped into Jim Tomei. Like I don't know why, but that was like his big.
I used to call
Holy
in
shit,
from
Colin! I just bumped into Jim Tomei. Like
That makes so much sense somehow.
I think
Yeah.
if you're gonna tip less than $50, you just got to give it to him. You just got to like, here,
Yeah.
thanks for your service. Anything above that, then you're going with the.
Yeah,
But
then you're getting
if
that.
I'm giving a big one, I want them to see it. I don't want them to just feel. I want them to see that I'm giving a big tip.
But it's
'Cause then-
classy to.
That's not what. Yeah. All right.
Well, no, you just go, here you go, boss. Thank you. And then they see it. They're going to keep the good service coming.
I get so much joy out of tipping in places that you shouldn't, that they don't expect a tip.
Like
I get
what?
a lot. Lewis's Steakhouse. Last time me and Jet sat down, I always tip the.
It was
The
a weird
hostess?
thing,
Yeah.
You're
Well,
tipping the host.
but it wasn't like
Yeah.
he like hooked. She just took. Whoa! I think I just died. It's a smart play because now you're good. Like she
That's why I
is
do it,
taking
yeah.
care of you forever. But it was interesting to see because it's not like she did anything crazy or like she hooked it. Like there were like 40 open tables and she sat us down at the closest one and he's like, "Here you go."
What is the what's like the proper tip to give when you're picking up takeout?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Oh, you mean like from the person who hands it to
Like,
you?
say if I order from Lenora's, and I always try to do more, like, but sometimes I'm like, I'm giving them 20% for a tip. Like, I feel like 10% at that point. When I'm coming to the restaurant, I'm going inside, I'm paying for my food,
Yeah.
getting the bag, and leaving. What do you guys consider like an acceptable tip to give? Like, is 10% good?
10%'s a lot for that.
I give sometimes
you're-
15, 20%.
It's a tricky
Aren't you
situation,
already
though.
tipping on the meal?
Well, I mean, so the idea behind
Order
it
it
is like
online?
when you're sitting down at a restaurant, someone's bringing your
Sure.
food, they're cleaning up after you, they're pouring you your water, they're like they're literally taking care of you while you're there. Whereas when you show up to the restaurant just to pick up your food and walk out, like that's a big discrepancy. That's a big difference. So like what does I don't understand, like, and I think sometimes I give too much. I think 10% is acceptable.
Yeah, sounds good to me. It's always tricky though, because you're going to go back there.
You're paying with a cash.
No, you're paying
No,
with
you
the
can't.
card, and there's a thing for a tip.
I get it. You're paying that. You haven't paid for it already. You're not just picking up.
You're going up to pick it up
Got it,
and
got it,
pay
got it,
at the host stand.
Got it.
I don't know. Like, Bob, what do you think?
I don't know. It's tricky now because with those pads now, you almost don't want to see.
That's the worst.
It is. You don't
the
want them to
presets.
see you. Yeah, so
I
that's
hate
tough.
that.
The
But I
preset
think-
should not exist.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would tell you that for pickup they don't tip for pickup because there wasn't service. You're supporting the restaurant. I think a lot of people would say, but yeah, when you bring that pad involved, it changes.
I'd
things
love
a
to
bit
know
for
what your
sure.
dad's take on that is. Because,
Yeah.
like, I feel like he probably has a whole system. And
He's thought of this already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the biggest scam going right now is?
oh, boy.
It's
The roll
it's when
call.
roll call analytics. When you go to Walgreens and at the end they ask you if you want to donate to support the kids,
Mhm.
and you donate, you ain't donating. They're taking your money and then they're
Oh, that's
donating out of
terrible.
Walgreens, and then they're getting tax deductible out of that. That's all I'm gonna say
That's
about
correct. That's true.
that. That is what's happening at all.
Give it
these
to the
places.
kids.
And then
Yes, but you're not
Walgreens
getting
gets
kids.
the credit for
They get the
the
tax
donation.
deduction at the end.
Correct. Well,
Exactly.
the
They
tax
do
reduction.
millions every year with all the people that come through. So
It's true.
I'm on
That is whoever came up with that idea, like in the boardroom, that guy got a raise.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that
the
was a
same-
smart. That was a smart idea.
It's the same guy at the Titans game yelling it's third down.
it's actually insane if you think about it, because you're giving them the dollar, you're not donating it. Like you're giving them the dollar to donate
true.
on. It's
Yeah, it is
crazy.
true.
And
It's
that's
a good
why
point.
charity needs to be. It's charity's fine. It's just at Walgreens.
Last thing on tipping, real quick. I saw this move once. Tell me if you think this is a good move. At the time, I thought it was a beautiful move. was this guy was checking out at a grocery store, and the guy was bagging his bags, and then he gave him like a $20 tip at the end to the guy who bagged
That's
the
nice.
groceries.
love that move. Or
I
if they
like
bring it out for you. See, that's one of
Oh.
those plays I love. I love that type of play.
I will
All
say,
right.
you guys being in that, you guys all worked in that industry where tipping was so prevalent. You guys are pretty sharp at the tipping etiquette going
Yeah,
around.
because you see it all day, and you
Yeah.
know how long of a way it goes. They remember. I mean, the valet guys, the bellman, they remember who you are. They remember how you tip. To where same thing on the other side. If you don't tip, they remember that too.
You know,
Um,
another nice one, Pop, is if you're staying in a hotel, and this doesn't happen nearly enough. When you come to like, at some point, if like you're staying for 3-4 days, you'll leave like a $10 or a $20 bill on the pillow for the housekeeping team. Your room is going to be immaculate moving forward. Not to say that it wouldn't already, but also they're not used to getting tips like service staff in the restaurant. So that little tip, even $10, $5, will go so much further than your tip anywhere else.
The only thing I don't like about that is I don't know that the housekeeper is the one getting the.
Oh, sure they are.
Well, because
you write
sometimes,
a note.
well,
You
no,
know,
sometimes there's two people. There's two people who clean a room, and what if the one person gets in there faster and she just scoops it up and then
I
doesn't
like
tell
though.
the
You
other one?
always see them in
Well,
the
they're
hallway.
cleaning your room.
When you see them in the hallway, you hit them there, and you could to avoid that, Poppy. You could just hit them
Sure.
directly in there.
Yeah, I do
But
like
then,
tipping
Bob,
the
they don't know
You
housekeeper.
don't
what
know
room
what
you're
room
in.
you are.
Yeah, that's not
Um,
as good a play. 'Cause
Yeah.
They don't know what room you're in.
You hit him. Hey,
Um,
hey, 426.
Yeah. All right, folks, that does it. Another edition of the Bob Does Sports podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time.